9HawkFanatic.com, brought to you by Patrick Eads and his staff at Deary Brothers Ford on Mormon Trek, and I bet you any amount of money they'll be really dealing today, just to get you inside as you look at the cars. Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement, Mike's E-Keys for cars, GT Car and his great crew at Supel's Building and Remodeling. Supel's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants, Midtown 2 is open. They're still working on the flooring at Midtown 1 on Scott, so they are not open today. Harty and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. Premier Automotive in North Liberty. The Ox Yoke Inn in the Amanas. Streets Maintenance. And Dr. Lance Forbes Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids. Here's Tom Suter and Pat Harty from HawkFanatic.com.
And here we are. Snowpocalypse in our rearview mirror, kind of.
Snowzilla. Snowmageddon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Snowzilla personally.
Yeah.
How about you, Pat?
I like those. All three work.
Yeah.
It's been interesting since Tuesday. It's been pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It sucked.
I've shoveled and gone to Hy-Vee. That's basically what I've done. Well, drink and eat. And eat, and just watch TV. And
sit there in a pool of your own urine.
Right. None of that. I mean, probably drank more than I normally would because there was
nothing else to do.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I mean, so
I almost went stir crazy because we were down to 2 bottles of Diet Coke, and I had to ration for a day and a half until we got off the street. Got out of the street was jammed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Carew came and did our driveway and the sidewalk. We didn't have any street.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, we've all had stories, haven't we?
Yeah.
Mine are just shoveling, and basically that's it. And sitting at home, and like I said, I went to Hy-Vee a couple, but there was one day I never left the house. Was it not Tuesday? Was it Thursday or Friday? I don't think I left the house. I mean, luckily I had everything I needed, and there was just no reason. They were telling you not to leave the house. Yeah. It was just horizontal snow, and it was a mess.
I don't even remember what days did I miss.
I don't know.
Jim? What days did I miss?
You weren't there Tuesday, were you, when it all started?
Yeah.
Or were you here?
Yeah.
Wow. Pretty weak.
Yeah. I didn't miss the whole week.
Is that fair to say, advantage Mother Nature?
Oh, way fair.
Like she reminded.
What was it, Thursday and Friday? I didn't miss the whole week.
Mother Nature.
No, I missed maybe Friday, Saturday, yesterday.
You weren't there. Well, I didn't come in. I did come in Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I didn't come in Friday or Saturday. Yeah, we did.
No, Friday, Saturday, we did not.
Because I came in Wednesday because I remember I was dead because the previous day we had we had a ton of snow, right?
Yeah.
Because I think I'd spent the previous day shoveling, and then we had the break, right? It didn't start again until Thursday, right? Or late Wednesday. Because I do remember that. That's the last time I was really outside doing something besides. I'm not a really good shopper. A smarter person would go one time, but I sometimes I forget something I want. I'm an impulse buyer too.
Well, I went to Hy-Vee, I think, twice or 3 times yesterday. Didn't do a good job on the initial
I've done
list.
that before. I've done that where I go, and then the main thing I went for the first time, I forget about because I get distracted and buy other things that I don't need, and then the thing that I went there for, I end up not getting and going back. So.
We went to Bread Garden twice, got a bunch of stuff, but then needed dog cookies, dog bones, and Diet Cokes.
So was it Thursday and Friday, though, where hardly anybody was out? I mean,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Tuesday it came, and it was a heavy day, but everybody was already out when it started. And I just remember, though, I was just so glad I was proactive. I did. If I would have waited for that first foot of snow on – because didn't we get like 13 inches on Tuesday?
Yes.
Yes, or 14.
I don't know if
depending on-
I don't know if I would have been able to shovel that. I went out there after 5 I saw my neighbor doing that, and he said the same thing. Do it now, and that was the best way to approach it.
We couldn't get in yesterday at all here until like 3, 4 o'clock.
You couldn't get in Saturday either, right? Because that's when Hunter sent me the text. Don't come out.
Yeah,
there was a snowdrift.
Hunter was here. He slept over.
Oh, I know. I mean, like I said, I've got calls out. Who's it, OSHA? Who do we call that?
And he had chicks lined up here.
Oh, so you did help him out at least? It wasn't complete labor violations?
Huh?
You helped him out with chicks, Suter said.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was complete labor violations. So anyway, hope you're massive. But anyway, so and Tommy did the show from his house. From his house yesterday.
Poor Hunter.
The whole thing.
But he's better for it.
Yeah.
Hunter, are you better for it? Sure.
Nobody could get out here but the picketers picketing for Hunter.
I will say though, there are worse places you could be. Yeah, I mean
That's true.
I mean, the heat works great here. I mean,
Oh yeah, the couch is comfortable.
couch is comfortable.
Now, if I were in Hunter's shoes when I got out of here after being here for a few days, I would go get the biggest effing pizza I could find and snarf that baby down.
Yeah, because does anyone deliver out here?
And
Would anyone deliver? I guess you could get.
yeah, Chump does.
Chump, yes.
But not now.
Not now.
No, what I'm saying though is like during the time he was out here, he could have ordered. Could he have ordered somewhere?
Well, but they couldn't have gotten in.
Well, I guess they could. Yeah, because so he was never. Every minute he was out here, it was because he was sort of held captive by the circumstance.
No, he wanted to do it. I can't do it with my situation right now. With
and he was stuck here anyway, so it was.
Yeah, and I can't leave her alone right now. So, and believe me, I'm out. I've been 30 years, and I've been out here every time and stayed out here.
Absolutely.
Because for you guys, somebody has to be here during a weather event. Is that kind of how you look at it?
Well, no, you don't have to.
No, but
we choose to.
Well,
that's kind of what we do.
Yeah. Well, I kind of make them have to. But no,
I mean,
you got to give them information, and they come to us for that. And they do come to us for that. I can't tell you the amount of people that have commented on social media thanking us and everything, because not everybody is on the grid. And sometimes the grid just isn't current, or you've got morons like these people that are posting their own
weather maps.
Yeah, and forecasts, and it's just ridiculous. I have had to ban at least 10 people.
Well, they have their own forecast?
Yeah,
Will they look out the window and say, hey, it's snowing, and type it in?
I don't know what the hell the deal is.
It was wild, though. There was one of the days where the snow would come horizontal one direction, and 5 minutes later it was going the other direction.
The other direction?
Yeah.
It was just a weird, and now it's here forever.
This is really our calling, is to, we're here
for
7 days a week, and that's what we should be. But when we couldn't be here yesterday, we were still on the air live from Tommy's apartment. And he had the news, and
now Hunter's back there coughing. He's all ill. He's ill, and just
he might be sick as a dog, but he's going to get to that caucus tonight. And even if he dies, it'll be worth it.
I did hear that.
Yeah, Trump. Even if
why would anybody vote for that
I
a-hole? Honest to God,
know. What the hell?
But did you not?
Incredible.
Did you sort of giggle when you heard that the first time?
I thought
no.
I sort of did, but I
thought
it's sort of okay.
Here
we go.
I wasn't. I would have giggled if I would have been surprised, but
I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
I mean,
it just, Jesus.
I saw an interview. I don't know what it was. Somehow it ended up on my timeline. Some man looked like he's maybe in his 50s or 60s, basically saying we need a dictator right now. That's what we. And the guy doing the interview seriously goes, "Yeah, we need."
I don't understand that.
I don't. Where the hell did that come from?
I don't know. I had a friend that told me at the beginning of this, when he first ran, we need a tyrant. Why in the hell?
Why the hell would we need that? Why are people so attracted to a cult of personality? I don't get it. I just, it's so bizarre.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Karn.
How dangerous is it going to be to try to get to the wrestling meet tonight?
Well, I mean,
Depends
that's
on where you live.
Well, yeah.
Minus wind chill of minus 20 at least, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
So
older.
the danger is from leaving her car, walking to the arena. Would you say?
Yeah.
I mean, as long as
And the streets aren't
I mean, the
perfect.
streets aren't. But I mean, as long as you drive careful, whatever.
Right.
I mean,
It's on TV.
Yeah, it's on TV.
and the men.
But I mean, is it dangerous to get out, walk out in this stuff?
Yeah, for someone your age, it is. No offense, because
No
for
offense
someone,
no offense for my age.
for
It also
someone,
depends on how far you have to walk and what
Yeah.
the circumstances are. But yeah, it's very cold.
How far do you have to walk?
Well, I usually park in a handicap spot, handicap thing, which is right across the street from Carver.
well,
I mean, I don't know if danger. I mean, you got to be careful. I mean, you don't want to fall, slip
But I'm
on
just
ice.
kind of wondering how slippery the roads are.
very slippery.
Yeah, you got to be
They are.
careful.
Karen, I hate to say this, but if I were you, I would stay home, drink copiously, and watch on TV.
That's what I would do.
Watch the men's game and then watch
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
wrestling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about tomorrow for the women?
It's going to be a little better.
Up to 2.
Yeah, it'll be 2 degrees.
It's gonna. I mean, Captain will have his air on tomorrow.
But it'll be a little better, Karen.
Well,
gonna be
because
too-
I have a parking pass for right outside, right where the Dan Gable.
Oh, yeah, no, you'll be
Yeah,
fine
then
then.
You'll be fine.
It's steadily creeping a little better. Isn't today a little better than yesterday?
Yeah.
But tonight you suggest I just stay home and
Yes.
watch it
Yes.
on
Stay
TV
home.
Yes.
Yes.
And Suter, you said drink too, right?
Copiously.
Yeah.
and drink.
Yes.
Copiously.
He's not talking. He's not talking coffee or Gatorade.
And
either.
then,
Well, if I drink too much, I won't know what's on TV.
then you call us in the morning.
And then we'll tell you what you missed.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Karen. Be safe.
Yeah, no, it's
Now, the swimming and diving team has got it right. They're down in Coral Gables, Florida right now.
Hello.
Reynolds.
What did he say?
Reynolds. Is that after the
Who knows?
Governor?
Son of a bitch has been drinking.
Oh,
probably
drinking
since-
copiously. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
since Wednesday.
Oh, I get. Okay.
Yeah.
Because she's an alcoholic, right? She's a.
Yeah,
I mean, doesn't drink anymore, right?
yeah, supposedly.
Okay. Well, and that was the joke off that.
Yeah, I know, but
All right.
it gets,
I'm a little behind.
And that's her best quality.
I know, but it gets so.
What, the fact that she used to drink a ton?
No, that she doesn't.
Oh, that she doesn't drink
Yeah,
now.
that's her
No,
best.
but it gets old with this guy. I hate this.
Oh,
guy.
was that
I
what's his
think
name?
it was. I don't care. I hate the guy anyway.
Hate. Radio. Hate's a little strong, don't you think?
It is very strong.
Well, there
It's
you go.
radio. I mean, just
What do
shake
you-
it off. It's radio. Just shake it off.
You know, I bounced this guy from what's south of us? The,
Washington,
Missouri,
the,
Texas,
wait a second.
Louisiana,
Kelowna, yeah,
Hills,
the Gulf of Mexico.
Sand Road.
I can't remember. Oh, Kelowna. After that story about that the Texas patrol wouldn't let the feds save that drowning woman and children, 2 children.
Yeah, what a horrible story.
He posted on our page, "Good, we're full."
Who's he?
This guy by the name of Bryant Liebarger of Kelowna. You know, it's public. He posts this crap, it's public. You know, and so I said, so you think it's all right for a mother and her 2 children to drown? Suck a D. Your liberal ass radio page. What an effing joke.
I assume he's gone.
He is gone.
You think
But
he's
you know,
listening?
you go to his page and it's his 2 children.
You think?
I mean,
Doesn't make sense, does
it
it?
doesn't make any
you
sense.
think he's listening right now?
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if he's listening. I don't care if his family's listening, his friends or his employer. You post it on Facebook, it's public. And it was seen by a lot of people before I saw it. You know, how ridiculous is that? You know, a mother and their 2 children,
And he's a parent.
and he's a parent. You know, and if it were up to me, Governor Abbott would be charged with murder. But it's not up to me. I just can't understand how anybody would. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And this is a liberal-ass radio station.
Yeah.
I don't make any apologies for it. No, none.
And I've never considered myself uber liberal.
Nor have I. But I guess if you have some empathy now, you're...
Well, I mean, there's so much tribalism now and just so much division that, it's just...
Yeah, that just... Yeah.
There's one thing that we can all agree on.
The Hawks.
LSU's women's team losing yesterday to Auburn.
I did not. Okay. I was not aware of that.
Yes.
Is Mulkey ripping Caitlin?
Well, she made a comment about, well, we don't have someone taking 40 shots per game. She was referring to Caitlin, obviously, kind of that veiled. It's just she and what's her name, Dawn Staley. Yeah. They need to move on. I mean, just they look so petty. With this. I mean, Mulkey's one of the greatest coaches ever.
Oh, she's absolutely too.
You know, I mean, her dress and her personality are just she's fingernails on a chalkboard, but still, give credit where credit's due. Just let Caitlin do her thing. I mean, they just can't seem to handle the fact that Caitlin's the best player in the country.
Well, and she's elevating the entire sport.
The entire sport. Well, I think they are. I think in some ways they're envious of that, but also they're battling their jealousy and apparently their pettiness. I mean, Caitlin's got a chance to win the Dawn Staley Award for the 4th year in a row, and I can't remember who said it in the media, but someone said Dawn Staley probably wouldn't have won the Dawn Staley Award 4 times in a row, which is like somebody in the Iowa media.
And that's true.
And it's probably true, yes. I mean, Dawn Staley was a great player, but she's not Caitlin Clark. And she's different types of player. Dawn was more of a point guard. Caitlin's just a guard with the ball in her hands. She could be a great shooting guard if she had to be, but like I've said, she's a better passer than shooter.
She is.
And she's a great shooter. So, but yeah, that's, I mean, and in fairness, Caitlin averages about 22 shots a game. And so Mulkey was just...
Well, and they should be excited for. I mean, it's Saturday night. She's on Fox broadcast, not cable. She's on Fox broadcast, and it got great ratings.
Did it?
And it's good for the sport. It's good for the sport, but just their pettiness right now is just kind of disappointing. I'm not really surprised with Mulkey. I don't think she likes to share the spotlight, and her team beat Iowa convincingly.
Sure did.
In the national championship game. It really wasn't even close. So why not just be happy with that and take care of your own house? Because it's not like they haven't had some problems. And Dawn Staley, I don't know what her deal is. I mean, well, I know what it is. Her team Iowa beat them. And Caitlin kind of mocked the one. Remember when she kind of shoot off? Well, and I get what she was doing. She was basically saying to her teammates, and she was kind of being Caitlin. She was just saying, you're not even worth defending because you're not capable of making that shot. And, hey, the best way she could have stopped Caitlin from doing that was make shots. But you notice that girl didn't even take that shot. Nope. She was afraid to. And Caitlin knew she was in their heads, and I think that just drove Dawn Staley crazy.
And unfortunately, LSU drilled their threes.
Yes. Yeah, LSU, I mean, they were just the better team that night. But it just takes one, because I still think South Carolina probably would have beaten Iowa more times than Iowa would have beaten South Carolina. They played 10, but it only takes one in the NCAA tournament, and that's the beauty of it. And so, that's where that came from. And
I just think you should be you should be happy for the sport that women are actually on a broadcast network on a Saturday night. Yeah. And it's because of her.
And I enjoyed listening to Gus on our reviewing of the.
He doesn't lack excitement and energy.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, Jan kept saying, "You think Suter will be there?" Yeah,
Suter was there.
Yeah.
So, did you miss anything? Did you go to the?
Didn't go to the game Friday night.
I didn't think you were. I almost texted you and wanted to make sure that you would stay home.
We thought about it.
I see you and Anne's corpse just frozen in some snowdrift.
And we felt guilty about not going, but it was just too.
I mean, it would have been ridiculous.
Yeah. We didn't.
No.
Just frozen in the embankment, big smiles on their faces.
And honest to God, you can get on social media and you can bitch about Peacock all you want. It ain't going away. We're not going back to channel 2, 7, and 9. It just isn't happening.
And the people say, I'm never going to watch a game on Peacock.
Well, if you don't subscribe, you're not going to watch a game on Peacock. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
If you don't subscribe, no, you're right. You won't be watching a game on Peacock.
I mean, and Peacock, on Saturday night had the Chiefs.
Right.
And had the record-breaking audience.
I did have a buddy say
Did they really?
streams? Yes.
I had a buddy say that who agrees with you, but he did say his buffered a lot. And he says for $6, I think he says he pays $6. He goes, I'm not going to bitch about it, but he goes, it's annoying.
Well, it isn't.
He goes, regular TV doesn't buffer.
No, it is, but it isn't Peacock's fault, and it really isn't.
But whose fault is it?
It's the cold weather on the.
Well, he says his
on-
is buffered off and on since he's had
Well,
it.
then he's got bad internet.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I haven't had any trouble when I'm watching Peacock.
No,
I did see some people bitching on Twitter about it buffering
Yeah.
for one of the recent sporting events. I think it was a women's game. They said it was buffered.
Well,
on.
last night we had some buffering on a show that we were streaming, but it's the. You got this
Well, yeah,
crap
this type of weather.
outside.
See,
Stuff doesn't work when it gets this cold.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't.
No,
Airplanes
there's
do.
and
Airplanes.
Yeah.
look up on the wires and look on those black boxes, and they all have them, and you can see there's ice on them.
Oh, I've got huge icicles hanging.
Oh, yeah.
From I got one that's just. I want to leave it there. It's
I've
so
lost
big.
2 limbs, so 2 really good limbs. Well, one tree's
Oh,
probably
'cause of the
going to
weight
have
from
to
the-
be removed in
Yeah,
a
luckily, I
backyard.
haven't had that happen yet. So, but
No, we lost one to the side of the house.
this
and
is
then one in
brutal,
the
though, man. And this stuff's going to
backyard.
be here for a long time.
Yeah.
It is.
I did see though next Sunday the thing on TV said 23 for next Sunday.
Yeah.
So do we have? I mean, do you know what 20s are going to feel like?
It would feel great,
Well-
comparatively.
I mean, seriously, it will feel incredible.
So how's your dog's ass handling the snow?
Oh, she's miserable. I can't walk her.
It's too cold.
No.
I mean, she went out for 30 seconds yesterday and was picking up her paws because it was so cold.
Well, and Lily went out and would squat down and then
Sure.
just
It's too
jerk
cold.
up again. And then
I did see
so
someone
we were
walk-
shoveling paths.
I saw someone walking their dog on Friendship. The dog had 4 slippers on its feet.
Yeah.
It was wrapped in a big coat and had a hat on. It was dressed better than I am. And it was just trotting, having the time of its life. And I always check to make sure, but the paws were covered.
Yeah.
With these little tiny slippers. It must have taken this dog 20 minutes to get ready for that walk.
Well, and Lily's a great drama queen, and she came in and there was a little ice on one of the paws, and she's like limping, until the ice.
But I haven't seen many people out. But this one I looked, I'm like, thank God it had little paw things on, or little doggy slippers. Do you have those for Wapsie?
we don't.
Hello.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning.
Going back to the Peacock deal and stuff, I've had Peacock for over a year because I do a lot of NASCAR stuff on it
Uh-huh.
and have very little buffering problems with it. But they said a lot of it is because the transmission area was so cold, too, down in Kansas City.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
I mean,
could
you
see.
know,
Yeah.
my regular TV this morning was pixelating real bad because the cable system's so cold.
Yeah, it's stuff doesn't work as well when it gets this cold. It's just
No.
fact.
Other than jets, don't airplanes do okay in cold weather?
Unless the doors fly off.
Well, yeah, that's probably a problem in any type of weather. Can you imagine
Yeah,
that?
that wasn't good.
No,
But nobody died.
no. I figured like in James Bond, they always get sucked through the hole.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
they-
Goldfinger went right through the hole.
And they had an iPhone, and it didn't have a case. No, it had a case, and it flew out of there. And they found it, and the case was all cracked, but the iPhone was fine.
Wow.
Remember Goldfinger getting sucked?
I
through
do.
the plane? Goldfinger.
Well, thank you.
Yep. I'll talk to you guys
All
later.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
Kind of
But yeah, I'm tired of the people on social media, complaining about it. What? Spend $5 to watch your favorite team? Like the women are going to be on 5 times in the next 2 months. Okay, is it worth $10 to see them?
Fran did a Zoom, and Halas asked him a question. He's like, "Hey, Fran, I don't have Peacock," because he was, to explain why he was asking about something that he had. And Fran interrupts and goes, "Mike, it's $9 a month," and it was kind of funny. I mean,
And that's if you can get it for less than that.
Yeah,
yeah, I think my buddy said he pays $5.99.
yeah. I pay. I pay.
I pay extra to get rid of the ads,
Yeah, so do I.
and it's
Well-
worth it.
How much extra is it? It's not.
$4 or something.
Oh, okay, so you pay like $10 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was covering them till they caught us.
Oh, that's right. I heard you guys say that. I may break down if the Peacock continues to be the main hub where Iowa stuff goes. If it's not on, because hell, I'll just write it off as a business expense.
You can.
But I have to go through MediaCom, I believe, to get it, don't I?
If you like Rockford Files, and you do, you would love Poker Face. That's on Peacock. It's a really good show.
What's the actress's name? Natasha?
Yeah. She's just
Wasn't that a song by Lady Diva or whatever her name is?
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga. Didn't she do a song called Poker Face?
Yeah, she did.
What did I say, Lady Diva?
It's not Natasha Kinski. That's somebody else, isn't it?
No,
I was right, though. This is a big game for the men. I mean, think about it. The men were
absolutely it is.
If the men win tonight, they're 3-3 and 11-6. They're
they're
right back into play. They matter again.
Well, they're back on the bubble.
And to think what they will have done in 3 games. I mean,
Yeah.
remember, last year at this time, they won 4 in a row and then 7 of 9, and then would go on to – I mean, I've watched every team now a little bit. There is not a great team in the Big Ten, including Purdue.
No, Illinois just got smoked. Well, didn't get smoked,
Didn't
but they
smoke,
lost
but Maryland.
to Maryland.
Now, Maryland's 3-3.
And Maryland's not very good.
I don't think it's very good. I think Iowa could beat Maryland here. Maryland might. To me, Maryland's kind of like Michigan State and Rutgers. There's times where they just can't score.
Natasha Leone.
Not Natasha Leone, that's right.
But this is a huge game. And for Fran, of course, he'd become the all-time winningest coach. He's tied with Dr. Tom right now, and he had some nice things to say about Coach Davis on the Zoom yesterday. And but no, and there's a big difference in your mind, maybe not now, between being 3-3 and 2-4 too.
A huge difference.
Huge difference. I know it's not number, but it's a big difference, and that's kind of what I wrote about. So there's a lot to play for. The chance to really get back into this thing. Fran can move on past Dr. Tom win-wise, and like I said, this is a good game and an unusual starting time.
And it looks like maybe without Patrick.
Well, it's hard. It's hard to say. I mean, Fran's not committed either way. I mean, it's just. I think it's one of those. From what he said, we'll wait and see. He didn't say for sure.
This was the Zoom was yesterday or Saturday.
The Zoom was. I wasn't on the Zoom live. I listened to it later. It was yesterday at 10:30. But I don't know. Like I said, between 10:30 and 5 o'clock today, a lot can.
Well, that's true.
That's the problem with trying when he kind of left the door open. I mean, Patrick was pretty good the previous game.
He was.
Thought he was more aggressive, and Minnesota is a much improved team.
Yes,
I've watched them 2 or 3 times now. This Elijah Hawkins, and we already knew Dawson Garcia was pretty good, but this Hawkins, this point guard they have who leads the conference with 123, he's the real deal. He's really quick, and I was going to have to stop the ball in transition with this guy. And
which is not our strength.
No, and some of the other guys on their team have just gotten better. So it looks like Ben. I had sort of written Ben Johnson off after 2 years.
I had too,
thinking that he was in over
wrong.
his head, and they hired him to be basically a sacrificial lamb while the program tries to figure out what direction they're going. But he looks like he could be legitimate, and if he can turn this around, I still think Minnesota, to me, in basketball and football, they should win. I mean, there's a lot on offer when you're in Minneapolis, a good town, it's a good school. I'm surprised they don't win more consistently in men's basketball.
Well, they just don't have very good fan support.
Well, they don't, and they don't seem to hire great coaches over the long haul either. I mean, and they've had some unfortunate, like the Clem Haskins era, that was pretty successful, but it didn't end well, obviously.
No.
The Dan Monson hire, remember they hired him, same time I hired Alford. At the time, it seemed like a good hire. He was the one that got Gonzaga going.
And I thought, I actually thought Richard Pitino did all right.
I thought he did okay, but he obviously didn't. He was sort of like Alford, but not quite even that good. They just didn't make the tournament enough under him. And eventually it just got to the point where the program was just kind of spinning its wheels at mediocrity, and that's why they chose to move on. But they just, I mean, I don't know. They've just, some of their football hires have been interesting. I mean, I remember when they hired Jim Wacker away from, wasn't it Texas Christian?
I think so, yeah.
And he it didn't work out, you know. I think Lou Holtz would have worked out. That was going to work out.
He was working out.
I think he won 8 games in one season. I mean, but they knew that when they hired him.
And PJ's done a pretty darn good job.
He has, but they have yet to win a division title. They just haven't gotten. I mean, he's done Glenn Mason work. Glenn Mason went
Right.
Mason went 9-3. He won 8 games. They just haven't been able to get beyond that. In fairness to Iowa, you can rip the offense. You can rip how Kirk should retire. Blah blah blah. He hired his son. Nepotism. I get it all. It's all there. But they still have won 2 of the last 3 division titles in 10 games in 2 of the last. And Minnesota can't come close to making that claim. Nor can Nebraska or Illinois or Indiana. I mean,
We won 28 games in 3 years. Is that what it was? 10, 10, and 8?
yeah, so I mean that's almost an average of 90 a year. I mean,
Pretty good.
Yeah, and they've done. But the cynic's going to come back. Yeah, but in spite of the offense, just think if you had an offense.
Well, for sure, I agree with that.
And to me, one thing I wrote today, I've noticed this narrative, and I've had a lot of people voice it to me. There's this narrative that the longer Kirk takes to hire a coordinator, the worse the hire is going to be. I
don't buy that.
I don't buy that. I don't. I mean,
first of all, you don't really know what he's doing.
No, nobody does because there's hardly been anything mentioned on message. If there's anything
Nothing.
interesting on message boards, you'd tell us.
Yeah, of course.
And I mean,
absolutely.
but Chris has gone from being a leading candidate to not being a candidate to being a candidate again to not being a candidate
Yes.
to now being someone. Well, you better keep a close eye on. You never know. That's kind of how.
And of course, and Philbin's out. He's not under consideration anymore. Well, how do you know?
Yeah, I've seen that one, and then I saw someone saying that he was never under consideration.
And then Philbin wouldn't come to, and I saw this yesterday. Philbin wouldn't come to a place with this kind of weather. Well, what are you talking about? It's bad all over. First of all, it's bad all over
Well,
the
and
country.
I can't remember where he coached in Green Bay.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, and if I had to just throw a name, I'd still probably give Philbin a slight edge over Chris, just because I think Philbin would be willing to stick with Kirk for the end. But I'm not. In no way am I saying that I've heard that Joe Philbin's going to get the job, and I've been told that a long time ago. But to me, if it was Philbin or Chris,
Wouldn't they have
already announced?
That's
it?
right.
That's why I'm starting to even.
I'm taking the field.
That's
now.
why I even wrote in my column, if there's a third or fourth candidate being considered, would I be surprised? Absolutely not. That's exactly what I wrote. No, because I do think if it was one of those two, they would have announced it by now. And the one
they're
difference,
both analysts.
the one
They're
difference thing, though, is there's been way more speculation about Chris than Philbin. Have you noticed that?
Yes, way more.
Is that just because he was the Wisconsin head coach? He's more high profile.
And he's been in the college game for consistently.
Yeah, I mean, because Philbin has been gone for 20. I mean, but he's also been an NFL head coach for 2 different teams. Not many people can say that. So, I mean, like I said, I think either one would be an acceptable hire. It's just been interesting how much more has been written about Chris either not being a candidate or being, whereas Philbin, other than the initial mention by me and other people in the media, and then Kirk speaking highly of him, there's been really nothing about Philbin.
So what do you think about the narrative with the people that say Alabama, one of the most high-profile programs in the country, hires a head coach in 2 days, and Brian Ferentz was let go, 76 days ago, or said he was not going to be back 76 days ago?
That's another thing who cares? That number one, it's Alabama looking for a head coach. And the other one was a unique situation in that Brian Ferentz was fired and allowed to keep coaching for, 40 of those 70, 40 to 50 of those 70?
Yes.
That's just I think
that's a ridiculous narrative.
I hadn't seen that one, but I don't agree with that. Whatever. I don't think that means anything now. But I also think that Alabama probably had a better field to pick from candidate-wise for head coach than Kirk does for offensive coordinator. That's no knock on Iowa, but I don't think the best offensive coordinators in college football are lining up to be Kirk's offensive coordinator.
You don't think that?
No,
what?
I don't think, and I don't think that's really going out on a limb. I mean, the Ryan Grubb talk and the fact that Kirk reached out, whatever. He was never going to come here.
No.
And now, is it official that he's going to Alabama?
It's not that I've seen, but that's
everyone is
likely.
Everyone is writing that he's going to go.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't he? They Washington's hiring what's his name?
Fish.
Jed Fish, the Arizona coach, who did a good job at Arizona. Now that job's open. That's not a horrible job either. It'll be interesting to see who gets the Arizona job, but. I think Ryan Grubb, obviously, from the thing he posted, he wanted to be the Washington head coach, and for some reason they didn't hire him.
No.
So now he'll go down with Kalen DeBoer, and boy, they better win 12, 13 games minimum, and they better win a national title within 3 years, or they're going to be on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Think about that.
The expectations are ridiculously high.
Oh, especially now. They will taper off in 10 years once there's a little bit of gap and cushion between the Saban era. But right now, they're just – I mean, they're ridiculous. And like I said, if he goes, let's say they go 11-1, but they lose to Auburn or whatever, and then they go to and they make the playoff and lose in the first round and go 11-2, that will be in a lot of people's eyes a bad season. That's what, and think about that. Think about the amount of pressure, but he's also he's confident. He's got a great record overall as a head coach. He loves a challenge. The money ain't bad.
No.
I mean, this is a business for these coaches, man.
Boy, anymore, it's a cash cow.
It's like a businessman moving up the ladder in a lot of ways. That's kind of how I look at these coaching jobs now. You still got some dinosaurs like Kirk, but those dinosaurs are being paid pretty well.
Kirk's doing all right.
Kirk's doing all right from a business standpoint, but I just don't think Kirk's ever been in a big hurry. And I've had other people ask me if I think Kirk is trying to sabotage the program and no. I mean, I don't. I mean,
Jesus Christ.
Yes, he's pissed that his son got fired. He doesn't like, but I think he can kind of exist in both realities. I would like to think that if Kirk was that upset, that he would retire.
He's not going to say, Jesus Christ.
But I've had 2 or 3 people
ridiculous.
ask me they're concerned that there's no sense of urgency with Kirk because he resents so strongly what they did to his son. But he's going to have to get over that.
Kirk's not that petty.
And I agree. And I think the fact that he says that he wants to keep coaching means sort of his way of saying, I'm getting over this.
I'm sorry, but I think he's been doing this long enough that he knows what was going on, and he can compartmentalize. And he's not.
Well, and remember, when he hired his initial staff, it took forever.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, people were, and when he hired guys like Philbin from Harvard, people were like, what the hell? Worked out pretty good. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. And then this other narrative that they're overhauling the offense. You remember when they brought in Chris White and Bob? They've brought in multiple coaches before, and the offense hasn't changed.
No.
I mean, there's been another narrative being pushed out there. I think it's just to excite the fans and to pander, and is that, with the offensive coordinator open and the receiver, it's obvious that there's an overhaul. No, those openings, Kirk didn't plan for the coordinator to be open right now. This is not his doing.
No.
This was forced on him. So this narrative that they're overhauling the offense, I just don't see that either. Kirk is determined to show that this year the reason they failed was injuries, and the best way for him to do that would to keep running his same offense and just hope for better results. Because then he could say, see, when we're healthy, see what we can do. That would, in his eyes, don't you think that would sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Legitimize Brian, sort of come to Brian's defense that it was problems beyond his control?
Well, I think that, that Kirk would come down on that side, but the numbers that I can't get past are the 92 points to 0 for Iowa against teams that were better than we were.
Well, you mean against teams that were ranked, against teams that weren't average to mediocre?
Yes.
Because and my guess is he would come right. Well, when you're in games like that, it's hard enough to win, but when you don't have your key players, that's what I think he would say.
Well, and you can make that case.
And the real cynic, though, would say, okay, coach, but, you had everybody for the first 2 games of the season, and the offense right away became the story, just its inability to function. But you know what he would say then, I think? Well, remember, Cade was never himself after the injury in August. And that I think that's what he would say. I think that's what's in his head to justify that it wasn't all Brian's fault. And to me, that's part father, part head coach operating.
And it just might be that he thought maybe that Brian was in over his head, but for them to do that in mid-season,
I don't think he liked that. But I don't think he was. I don't think he was going to fire Brian, though. Do you? I don't think he was going to. I just don't think he was, and I think that's why Iowa acted.
Because I think he honestly feels, if we had been healthy this year, we would have been.
But how much of that feeling is from being his father?
Don't know.
Or the head coach.
Yeah.
It's it's a little of both. It's some of both. So.
And then he'll still be able to say, we did win 10 games, folks.
Yes.
And that's what I'm paid to do.
And then the critic's going to say, yeah, but you're being carried by your defense and by your special teams. And what he would say is, okay, well, that's part of my team. They work for me. I get it. You can go back and forth on this thing. But the one thing that can't be argued, they better fix the offense. Sooner or later, it's going to catch up to them. They're not going to win 10 games. They're going to have a season where you and Ann are going to Detroit.
But it did catch up with them against Penn State.
Well, what I'm saying is it could get worse, though.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think I could see you and Ann in Detroit on the day after Christmas, with relatives. No. Hey, don't you have relatives in Wisconsin? They can meet you
Friends.
over in Detroit. Oh, just friends?
Yes.
I'm
Former
talking
neighbors.
Quick Lane Bowl. You could go up there and do some white boy Rick research. You could make that a hell of a trip.
Hey, Brian Secondfitz posted from Dodge Street Tire.
Yeah.
Posted this, and it's pretty good advice. If your tire light is on, please make sure that the tire isn't flat. Do not go to an outside air tank. It will not work in this weather, and you may actually lose more air. As long as they're still full, they just might be low enough to light the light.
Oh, I'm expecting mine to go. I'm surprised it didn't on the drive in here.
Mostly, we're always happy to check them outside, but in this weather, we're not going outside. We're not putting our employees at risk.
No, that's smart. I appreciate this.
Yeah.
This is the longest my car will have been outside in a week. Luckily, I have a garage, so it's going to be interesting to
mine too.
watch mine not start. I'm stranded out here.
no, it'll start.
Hunter. I'm the
They
new Hunter.
start now.
I'm the new Hunter.
Hunter just, well,
Remember the show Hunter? Actually, I was standing channel surfing the other day.
It's still on.
I watched 10 minutes of it.
Oh, jeez.
I watched 10 minutes of an episode of Hunter the other day. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, it's so bad.
It is bad.
I mean, it was.
it makes Cannon look like the Godfather. You know?
Was it during Hunter's siege when he was out here?
I think it may have been because it was a couple days ago. I just, wow, it's from like 1985. How long was that show on?
It's on a long time. I will look.
People were actually watching that, and that was Ted Dreyer, wasn't that the former L.A. Ram? Fred Dreyer. He was a former Ram football player.
Yes.
I'm old enough to remember the very end of his career. I mean, because he looked pretty old back. That was 40 years ago. Yeah.
So how about the Lions winning their playoff game? Isn't that something?
I ended up not watching as much of it. I don't know why. I mean, I didn't care who won that game.
I didn't watch.
For some reason, I was happy Green Bay beat Dallas. And am I a Green Bay fan? No, but I just don't like Dallas.
I don't like Dallas, but I don't like Green Bay.
But
either.
I also like that Jordan Love is excelling as Aaron Rodgers' replacement.
Yeah, I like
because I think Aaron Rodgers is a horse's ass.
He is,
and he's just a weirdo. And he was a playoff bust. Other than 1 year, I'll give it that they won, but his playoff record was not very good with Green Bay, and he just can't shut his mouth. He just says stupid things. But no, I mean, Jordan Love was impressive. Dallas, well, my guess is they're going to get rid of their coach, and there's talk that Belichick's being considered. That would be interesting, seeing Belichick trying to work with Jerry Jones.
Did Sam Laporta play? I know it was touch and go.
I saw him warming up. I don't remember if I did, because I was watching more basketball. I just didn't watch the games, but I did see him warming up to where I don't know for sure. Like I said, I did. It seemed like every time I was watching the game, the Rams were on offense. But no, 24-23 win for Detroit, their first playoff win in, 30 years, I think?
Yeah, something like that.
Since against Dallas in 92. So good for them. And
when I started at the station was the Lions' last playoff win.
It's about when I started at the Press Citizen.
Hunter, 7 seasons, 153 episodes.
7 seasons. So there were people watching that nonsense.
Hello.
Yes, he played.
He did, okay.
Did he make any impact?
I saw him carry the ball once, and he ran for a while, but I didn't see him play much.
So he ran on a handoff, or he ran after catching a pass?
After a handoff.
Okay.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen them use Sam Laporta as a...
Well, good to know. I'm glad that he was healthy enough to play.
And to carry the ball.
All right, good. Thanks, Carl.
Okay, bye.
But yeah, I saw him working out and warming up, and he looked pretty good.
Hunter was the first TV show to air regularly in China.
That's why they hate us.
It was in Croatia, in Chile, in Colombia, in Mexico, Costa Rica, Czech Republic, Egypt, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Gibraltar.
A lot of those countries hate us. Is that why?
I think so.
That could be.
Oh, it was everywhere. It was freaking everywhere. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, Laporta had at least one touchdown reception yesterday.
Okay.
And then also, Leistokow had a real nice report on the the entire history of Brian's offense statistics, for the NCAA. And I think it was yesterday or Saturday's paper. But so anyway,
Yeah, and the last 2 years were terrible.
Yeah, yes,
We
they were.
Obviously.
need to be reminded of that.
No, we sure don't.
Written about it plenty of times.
Do you have any salt you could rub into this scam?
Yeah.
All right, fellas, good program.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Yeah, I mean,
So instead of watching the NFL, I was watching the Michigan State-Ohio State women's game yesterday. And it was just a heck of a game.
yes, I don't remember what I was watching. Because I wasn't watching that either.
I was watching the last half of the last season of Cheers.
Wow.
I just got so sick of everything. And
But no, we weren't being dismissive of that call, but I
No.
think we're all well aware what the last 2 years
Well aware.
of the Iowa offense, and I'm not sure how much I'd want to read
it's
that article
National
right now.
Pizza Week.
National Pizza
I
Week.
had a Mama Basso.
What'd you think? I saw you texted.
Yeah. It was okay. It was,
Okay.
Jesus.
I mean,
It was, well, because I remember the original Mama Basso's. It was good for a frozen pizza.
oh yeah, that's all I've ever said. I mean,
Yeah,
it's still a frozen
yeah,
pizza.
it's
but
good
there's-
for a frozen
But there's
pizza.
some frozen pizza.
And it's got the original Mama Basso's crust.
I've never had the sausage.
But
yeah,
if-
I love the crust.
But if you would have eaten a Mama Basso's, the topping would be like 4 times that. That's all. But it was good for a frozen pizza.
I've never had their sausage. Does it taste like good Italian sausage?
Yeah.
Sometimes sausage can vary.
No, it was-
pepperoni's always pretty much the same.
It was good.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, I actually had a Sam's 14-inch Friday
That would have
night.
been better.
They delivered it in the
In
weather.
Friday?
It was maybe it was. No, it was one of those days. But then I made it. I had it for dinner, and then I had part of it for breakfast, and I got 3 meals out of it.
Okay, can
Nice.
you understand how these hostages, any hostages might feel when we were just stuck in a house for, 3-4 days, and we don't know what day it really was?
Oh, they've all kind
Oh,
of
no, it's all totally run together.
run
hasn't
together,
it?
blended together. Yeah, I can remember Tuesday because that's when it all started. And I do remember going out to shovel for the first time.
But honest to God, I don't remember when I.
But Thursday and Friday, to me, I can't.
Jim, was I here Thursday? Okay, so it was just Friday and Saturday. Hello.
Hello. I just have an interesting story that I saw last night on YouTube,
Okay.
and it's developing story about the Iowa track team.
Okay.
There's a 60-meter sprinter, Halen Walker, from Eddyville, Iowa, who just ran the fastest 60 meters in college so far this year. And it's really an interesting story because he came out of Eddyville, Blacksburg, with no scholarship offers out of high school, went to Indian Hills, and just really blossomed there. Now he's transferred to Iowa. And his improvement in that event is just remarkable. But to have a Iowa kid had the fastest collegiate indoor 60-meter time so far in the country, and that time already qualifies him for the NCAA meet.
Sir, did he do this just this? Did he set this most recent? Was it just this past week?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, I'm going to make him the Hawk Fanatic
Wow.
Athlete of the Week. No, I appreciate you calling in with this because we always do a Hawkeye Athlete of the Week. It's sponsored by Shields. I will definitely because I've seen him. I'm aware of what's going on. I've wanted to reach out because I watched a video of him prior to running an event. I watched him. You know when the sprinters they're getting loose and some of them will jump up in the air. I watched him jump up there. He must have jumped 4 or 5 feet in the air. I'm like, who the hell is this kid? And it is the kid you're talking about.
Remarkable story on his development and how quickly he's becoming really a standout sprinter for 60 meters.
Well, that's
Well, I'll reach out
great
to Iowa.
story.
Like I said, I'll reach out to Joey. Yeah, that would be a good story, and I am. And I think if he set this record, if he set the fastest indoor time this last week, he's definitely could be a great candidate for Athlete of the Week. I appreciate that.
You have to find out.
Yep.
Thank you.
Because I like to try to spread it out. I mean, you could pick Caitlin Clark every week.
Yeah.
But what's the point? You know, I mean,
Oh, you'll piss off Mulkey.
well, that's true because I know she's a huge Hawk Fanatic reader. But this, I'm always looking for stories like this, and I may have overlooked that, but I've been noticing this kid though. I mean, it is an interesting story. He is really
great story.
He's real because I remember somebody reached out to me and said, "Why can't guys like this be receivers for Iowa. That's a little easier. There's a lot of great track sprinters that never touch a football field. You can't just assume the two would work together.
No.
I don't know what this kid's situation is, but
Hayden tried that a number of times, and it didn't really.
And then when it didn't work, didn't he rip Ted Wheeler?
Yes,
there was some.
yes, he did.
I'll get to the call, but there was some thing that they showed on ABC this week where there was a high school football game, and a dog ran onto the field and caught the ball and made a touchdown.
What kind of dog was it?
People went nuts.
Did it count?
Huh? No, but he caught the ball.
It's not easy to do. He must have a big mouth.
No.
That takes a big mouth to do that.
And and it's showing off it's great.
That is
It's got to
funny.
be on YouTube. Hello.
Nothing better than happy dog videos.
Now that you mentioned that dog, I was going to say the stats for that dog were 1 target, 1 reception, 1 touchdown.
There you go.
Yeah, the yards after catch were huge.
No, actually, the reason for the call, I was going to add on to the previous caller that mentioned Laporta. He said 3 targets, 3 receptions, 3 targets last night for 14 yards, 1 touchdown. So it sounds like mostly they used him as a decoy.
Which makes sense.
Except for the touchdown, but slowly but surely, hopefully he'll get back to him.
Yeah, and I watched that play live. He's lucky he did not get hurt worse. I'm so glad for him because I tell you, he's one of the nicest guys I've ever covered. Super nice young man, Sam was. From the moment he got here, he was so easy to talk to.
His parents are great.
Very
too.
nice people. Yeah,
we tailgated with them for 4 years.
Yeah.
Or however long Sam
Good
was
people.
here.
Good people.
We had hello. Is that it?
I'm sorry. Well, I wanted to ask you guys. I saw a tweet last night, and I have it pulled up here. I'm going to read it to you guys.
Okay.
I want to see if you guys know anything historically about this. It says A.J. Green, Keegan Murray, and Harrison Barnes are all on the floor right now in the Kings versus Bucks. I can't imagine. Sorry, the phone just went black. I can't imagine there have been too many other times in NBA history where 3 native Iowans all played at one time.
Well, there was Hoiberg and Ricky Davis. They overlapped for a few years.
So that's 2.
That's 2. And Ryan Bowen was. I think Ryan Bowen, Fred Hoiberg, and Ricky Davis. I think.
But would they have been on the floor at the same time?
Well, I'm
Yes,
sure.
is the question.
But they were in the league at the same
Yeah,
time. Is what
yeah.
I'm saying. And at some point, my guess is they probably would have been on because they both. All those guys played. I mean, Hoiberg and Ricky Davis and Bowen were all significant players for their NBA team. So that's the most recent I could think of. And then you also had Rafe
LaFrentz.
You also had Rafe LaFrentz during that time. So you may have had more. You may have had 4.
Okay. So it's not the heyday.
Well, I mean, it's still a very unique circumstance.
It is.
What we're talking about happened 25, 30. I mean, Fred Hoiberg's 52 years old or whatever. But yeah, no, it's and there may be a few more, but no, it's pretty cool what's going on. I mean, Keegan's turning into an NBA star.
Sure has.
And I never thought A.J. Green was. I didn't think he was going to make the NBA.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty special times right now. Well, thank you guys
You
for
bet.
all
Thank
your
you.
hard work and for making it out to the station. We
Thank you.
appreciate it as listeners.
Hey,
All right.
we appreciate that. Thank you. So we're going to take a quick break.
It would have been the Donner Party at my house if I would have been able to get out of there today.
The what?
The Donner Party. Dog, cat.
Oh, I get you. Yeah, let's take a break. We need to regroup.
Yes, retool this show.
Yes.
We're rebooting. Are we overhauling the offense, though?
No, same old offense.
All right.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember.
For a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Hertine and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Hertine and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Hertine and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HertineandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
Once upon a time in the land of the Hawkeyes, a business grew. A business that would become synonymous with real estate. Hi, I'm Steve Anderson of Hawkeye Title and Settlement. When you're buying or selling your home, you'll need title and settlement services. Consider the Hawkeye Title and Settlement team. Give us a call at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, the team you love, the people you trust.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
Car won't go into gear? Call Premier. Premier Automotive in North Liberty offers full-service mechanical auto repair, in addition to being Eastern Iowa's most trusted name in auto body repair. Use Premier for all your auto repair needs: brakes, oil changes, air conditioning, diagnostics, transmissions, or preventative maintenance. Whether you hit a deer or your car won't go into gear, see Premier Automotive in North Liberty. When you go to a family restaurant, you want three things. One, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. Two, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And three, you want to be treated like family. You get all three at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. And special ribeye and shrimp nights. Daily specials at each location. And no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurants at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at MidtownFamily.com. The family's waiting for you. GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit Supples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
If you're looking for a new or used car, truck, or SUV, you should know Deary Ford is here for you. To give you the best selection and pricing on new Fords, Deary Ford is here for you. To work with long-term experienced sales and service reps, Deary Ford is here for you. To give you the highest trade values, Deary Ford is here for you. To provide pickup and delivery and mobile service for our customers, Deary Ford is here for you. Hurry in or shop online at DearyFord.com.
Are you tired of living in a home that doesn't quite meet your needs? Then it's time to call the experts at Streets Maintenance. Their team of skilled professionals specializes in renovations and remodeling, transforming your home into the space you've always dreamed of. From kitchen and bath remodels to complete home renovations, no job is too big or too small. Streets Maintenance will work with you every step of the way to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So don't wait any longer. Call Streets Maintenance to schedule your consultation at 400-4483. Let's start building your dream home today.
The Oxyokin Sunday Brunch, offering so many choices of fresh entrees and carved meats, homemade salads, waffles, omelets made to order, pastries, 3 tiers of dessert, and so much more. Such a great value. Now serving on Sundays, the brunch buffet only, 9 until 2. See you this Sunday.
The Oxyokin.
Oxyokin, where you'll always leave happy.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Meteorologist Brittany Merlot with a look at your weather ahead. The Arctic blast is slapping us with brutal cold. A wind chill warning is in effect now until tomorrow at noon. With winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour today, it'll make it feel anywhere from 20 below to near negative 40, where frostbite can occur rapidly. Layer up, bundle up, and stay warm. That's the forecast on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Currently, it's 11 below zero.
KCJJ weather. Brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
He went down to Tampa. He flew down to Tampa.
We are back.
We're back?
We are back.
Did you like, Pat, that Caitlin Clark called the fans savages?
I did not. I did not see that.
That was great.
We're like in the post-game press conference?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know, could have 14,000 people show up in a horrible blizzard. And...
Yeah.
She said she called them savages?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah. She's great. She really is. I love her.
Yeah, and
that cereal.
I saw somebody
sold out in 3 hours.
I saw a guy behind me had 4 boxes of it the other day.
And there's some a-holes selling them for $10 a box.
Yeah.
I've seen 20.
Yeah.
This is going to be worth. Listen, what's going to happen is, first of all, the cereal will go bad, and eventually, when it goes bad, the bags that they're in are going to swell up, and then it's going to blow up, just like our trail mix.
Uh-huh.
People were saving our trail mix, thinking it'd be worth something, because we had our pictures on, like it would be worth anything. Yeah,
I have a bottle of Coke from 1985 Rose Bowl. It's an Iowa Hawkeye.
Yep. As long as you don't freeze it.
I've never known. What do you think it would taste like?
Huh?
After all these years.
Crap.
It's up in my cabinet. It's got the bros.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah,
I had one for a while.
Yeah, I've still got it sitting up there.
It's going to taste like crap.
Yeah, but no, this guy had 4 boxes of it, and I forgot about it. What kind of? You said it's like Frosted
Flakes.
It is Frosted Flakes.
So it is okay.
Well, whoever makes.
So it say on the box, does it say Kellogg's or is it?
No,
Well,
Frosted Flakes.
Oh, it's Hy-Vee's product.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Frosted Flakes has lost their copyright. Yeah.
But aren't they the ones? They're great.
Yeah.
Isn't that for
Tony the Tiger.
Tony the Tiger.
He's got his own bowl now.
Yeah. Yeah. The Tony the Tiger bowl.
Oh, there's a bowl game named after him?
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah, they're trying. And seriously, they're trying for the Toucan Sam
Bowl. Oh, my God.
And then there's the Pop-Tart Bowl and the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl.
Jesus Christ.
It's ridiculous. Like I said, so many of those bowl games were unwatchable. I mean, they really were.
I didn't watch very many. Well, the Iowa one was unwatchable.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. I mean, it was way worse than I anticipated. Hell, I was trying to convince myself that they were going to win. I mean, I think I said on here that I thought they'd win like 11-10. I just never dreamed. I mean, the offense was worse than I expected it to be, which is my fault because the offense never seemed to disappoint when it comes to being bad. When it was bad.
3 dreadful, devastating turnovers
by Deacon.
Yeah.
This guy on CNN, Jeff Kaufman, who's from here, chairman of the Iowa Republican Party, he was going to have my license. This was back in, I don't know, 80-something.
80-something. So you weren't even here.
He's a dick.
So you weren't
Just
even at this.
a massive dick.
I interviewed him once. For some reason, the Johnson County Republicans had us do a live remote in interviewing all of their candidates at a mini mall, of all things.
Yeah, I was here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
But he's just him and his kid. I will have called me up. I will have your license.
Well, Bobby's much more personable than he is. I think.
but still.
Why do you want your license? Because you weren't saying stuff he agreed with politically?
Yeah, basically. So he's going to.
That's not how it works.
He called up and he was.
That's how some of them want it to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so many of these people that cry freedom of speech, whatever, there's just so much projection.
I went on the air and said, well, what, driver's license? I said, what do you I will have your broadcast license. And at the time, I didn't own the station.
So he lives here in Iowa City?
He lives in West Muscatine County.
Oh, okay.
Which was where I lived. Which is
the battle for
is scary that I couldn't remember that.
The battle for Muscatine County. Is that what this was?
Yeah, exactly.
The battle for Muscatine County.
Exactly. And you're not there anymore. So
I know,
guess you won.
You left. You vacated. You fled to the north.
I did.
Back to the Hawks. But yeah, 5 o'clock tip-off. And then
5 o'clock
what time's
tip-off?
wrestling?
Is it 7:30? I'm not sure.
Obviously, this is in conjunction
7.
with Martin Luther King Day. Because banks and stuff aren't open today, are they?
No.
There's really not. Most things are closed today, aren't they?
Many.
Is
yes.
school not open today?
I don't think so.
Okay, and I don't think Iowa City weren't
No,
they out.
School here isn't open today.
No.
And there have been a lot of schools
That have been closed since
because
Tuesday,
of-
right?
yeah.
Have there been any that have been
No,
closed?
they opened. There were some that opened up again Wednesday
And
Thursday,
then
but
closed.
Then they closed again on Friday.
Okay.
Well, Friday's storm was just piling on.
Well, yeah, I mean,
You know, after 14 inches of snow to get another.
So what did we get from Tuesday to Saturday? Do we know? Is
We
it
got
24.
Yeah,
24 inches?
Yep.
Listen, we were supposed to have the Friday storm,
9 to 13. I remember,
but we never were supposed to have the Tuesday storm. Not like that.
Well, it said originally it said 3 to 5.
Yeah, 3 to 5.
But then it also said 3 to 5 later, but maybe the next day.
Well, I remember doing it on the weekend, and on the weekend it just said 3 to 5, and that's all it said. And then and
it was almost 3 times 5.
But it came in intervals. Remember, the first round was 5 inches, then it let up for a little bit, then it did another 5-incher because I remember going out and shoveling both times. But then it also did about 3 more inches because when I woke up on Wednesday, I had to shovel that before I came in here.
Uh-huh.
And then it didn't snow on Wednesday. We were pretty good, but then Thursday things started getting iffy.
And
again.
text me, school's closed here today, but I read cancellations today for other schools that were going to be closed.
So there are some schools open today?
They were open.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of them are closed. But they were going to be open. They weren't going to observe Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Oh.
By closing.
So did you watch the Lisa's Hawks dismantle Indiana?
I watched most of it. Susan was there, of course,
Yeah.
covering the game for us. I watched most of it until it became.
Well, in the fourth quarter.
It was
Crazy.
over. I mean, Indiana didn't play very well. Iowa deserves credit for
they
that.
didn't.
And what I like is, what did Caitlin have, 30?
Yep.
I mean, the last couple, she had 26 the game before that. And like 20, I like the fact that she's going between 25 and 30 now as opposed to going between 35 and 40. I just think they're a better
But
team.
the announcers are disappointed. But the announcers go, well, I expected her to score a little more.
She scored 30.
Did they say
I
that?
know. Yeah.
I mean, she averages 31, but I wouldn't
think
care.
when she was 25.
I think they're better off when she is
Oh,
in the
no
25
question.
to 30. And,
no question.
Hannah Stokey is getting her 10 to 15.
Hannah couldn't do a thing. Man, she got 5 points, I think.
Well, she still has games like that. She's
She
still
does.
developing, and I still think in her defense, at times she's playing out of position.
Yeah.
I think she's a power forward, and she has to play center. Because and the two, Goodman and O'Grady, are just they're just inconsistent. And at times, they seem timid at times. And there's a lot of times, too, where they miss Caitlin's passes. And like I said, I get a kick out of her. Her reactions are not always the best. But for some reason, I don't know why I find like they're, because, there's times where one of her greatest passes will lead to a turnover that's not her fault, even though it'll be her turnover. There was one where I thought she was going to shoot. She did this beautiful. Somehow she got the ball to one. I won't mention. It was one of the two centers, and it just deflected right off. It would have been an easy layup. And I right away I look over to Caitlin, and you could tell she was pissed, but she gets over it. She moves on.
She does.
But it's frustrating when you're that good. I'm sure there's times where it's frustrating when those around you aren't as good as you. You know,
really, I can see that. Really,
do you have that problem?
I have that. No.
Hunter, do you have that problem? It's frustrating that you're at such a high level that you expect the others around you to meet that level, and when they don't. Okay, that's what I thought.
Hello.
Hi, yeah, I was just going to ask you guys about what you thought of Molly Davis's contribution.
Oh, she was great.
Very significant.
Yep.
She's playing like she did at Central Michigan,
Yep.
It sounds like.
Yeah.
She averaged around 18 to 20 a
She
game
did.
there. She had a couple moves where she used her left hand. No, and I think she and Caitlin have figured out how to kind of play together. She is just what Caitlin needs. Defenses now have to pay a little attention to her, especially now that she's making a few threes. They can't just ignore her anymore. And she's comfortable now because she knows she's getting extended minutes, whereas last year she played more in spurts. And now I think she knows that maybe she can make a mistake here or there by being aggressive and not have to come out. And, no, it's significant.
Well, and when you have her and Gabby and Kate all dialing in on their threes, it completely opens up the court.
Well, and you just mentioned three senior, fifth and sixth year senior guards, and then Caitlin's a senior. Think about those four guards, how much experience you have right there. Molly Davis has played a ton of basketball.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you're seeing this is a very guard-oriented team.
Yes, it
I
is.
just wish one of the centers would it looked like Goodman was doing that for a while, but now she's kind of falling back a little bit. But I think that it is what it is. I think they're just going to keep trying to get whatever they can out of the two. Goodman's clearly the first option. There's times where O'Grady doesn't even play much, isn't it?
Well, yeah, although she had one nice block on Mackenzie Holmes, which is not easy to do.
Well, and the fact that she was playing in that game, because there's been times
Yeah.
where she has spent a lot of time on the bench.
Yeah. No, we're playing a lot of small ball, and it's working.
Yeah.
Even when they have a dominant center playing against them, it has worked.
Yes, and let's see. I mean, Indiana, I wasn't that impressed with them.
They didn't play well.
Yeah, they didn't play well, and Iowa deserves some credit for that. And I watched. I mean, I think like Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State. I mean, those teams are all. I don't think any of those teams are anywhere close to being elite. They're all pretty good.
That's good.
Whereas I think Iowa is close to being elite when you have Caitlin and all that senior experience. And, I mean, compared to South Carolina and LSU on paper, Iowa's not that as good.
No.
But they're the next step below them, and they do have a player who's dynamic enough to where on a given day she can narrow that gap and they can beat a team like that. And I think that's kind of how I look at Iowa. No, they can't match LSU and LSU and South Carolina talent-wise. No, they're not near as talented. They don't have near as coveted recruits and what have you. But like I said, when you have someone like Caitlin and all that experience around her, it just takes one time. So, no, this is a fun season, and hopefully, I mean, the weather, it didn't really, I mean, Saturday's game was packed, right?
It was not 100%
but still pretty full.
95% full.
Hello.
Do you consider yourself a savage?
Absolutely.
Hello.
LSU got beat yesterday.
They sure
yes,
did.
They did. Who beat them?
Yeah.
Auburn.
That's it. All right.
Who hadn't won in the SEC yet.
You know, they had started 0-3 and then beat LSU.
Thanks.
What's her name? Mulkey needs to worry more about her team and less about what Caitlin and the Hawks are doing. Yeah, just mind your own business.
And I think Haley Van Lith was like 1 for 8 from the field.
It's just good for women. It's athletics.
But there's a lot of pettiness. There's obviously a little bit of pettiness, or a lot of pettiness. I mean,
with Mulkey
and social media makes it easy to be petty. It's just right there. You're
everything is racism with Dawn Staley. I mean, absolutely everything.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not comfortable talking about how a black person should, but she does seem to. It does wear on you after a while. Not everybody in this world is a racist. You know, I mean, I know a lot of white people that aren't racist.
No, I'm not a racist.
Yeah, I don't think anyone here is a racist.
No, I don't care for anybody.
No, you hate all races, don't you?
Well, look at what they've done.
To you?
To everyone.
God, now you sound like Trump. What is it with 70-year-olds and their grievances?
Trump.
Come vote for me, and if you die, hey.
If you die, so, you know. What
I have to admit, though, I did chuckle when I heard that the first time.
Absolutely. That's just.
Bizarre.
It is. It reminded me of when COVID first came, and the Texas lieutenant governor said, old people, you should.
I remember that.
Die. So
we're going to see a bunch of old dead people scattered on maintenance roads in small rural areas for walking home from the Caucasus. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
It's just ridiculous. You make it to the caucus.
I've never caucused.
Have you
caucused?
Yes, every time I've caucused.
I'm not going to this year. I mean, there's
there's
nothing to caucus for.
But I mean, seriously.
This.
Caucuses suck.
Yeah, they sound.
I mean,
we need them. I get it. It's the
6:30
democracy at work, but
it isn't really democracy to work because you've got a finite amount of time. A lot of people who've got children, second jobs, third jobs, they can't make it. It really isn't democracy. Primaries are democracy. Caucuses are crap. Hello?
Crap. Oh, hi. This is John Ballmer.
Hi, Johnny.
Hey, John.
Hey, several things. That I watched the Ohio State Michigan State women's game before I watched while I was watching the pro football.
Uh-huh.
It was a good contest.
Yes, it
Michigan
was.
State's better than I think people thought they'd be, and Ohio State is. That'll be a tough game over there when we play them.
Sure,
They're pretty
will.
athletic.
Michigan State's
Didn't they almost beat
is
Iowa?
a problem for a lot of
Didn't they almost
teams.
beat Iowa?
Yeah.
I know they're not ranked, but no, it sounds like they're a pretty good
Caitlin
team.
hit a shot at the buzzer.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was Michigan State.
Yeah.
The 30-footer.
No, they're a problem. I'm telling you.
For sure. And I watched a lot of the Lions game because I wanted to see about Laporta and Jack Campbell. And, gosh, Laporta played the whole game. He was terrific.
Who else played in that game? Started at left tackle for the Rams, Alaric Jackson.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah,
I
number
missed that
77,
one.
Alaric Jackson was starter.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got Tyler
Wow.
Linderbaum playing for the Ravens in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
Christian Welch, remember him? He's a special teams
Christian
guy
Welch, yeah.
He's been in the
He's with
league
the
for
Packers.
7-8 years. He still plays for the Packers. No,
Yeah,
their NFL
yeah.
pipeline's amazing.
Yeah. It is great to watch. I'm really happy for Laporta. He's really a good guy.
He really is. Great kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He's going to get some. You're going to get a nice payday one of these days, and
he's not doing too bad already.
Yeah, wasn't he like the second pick in the second round? Yeah, I mean he's probably a millionaire.
Oh
right?
yeah.
But no, John's right though. If he keeps playing at this level for this season, if he's doing this next year, my guess is he'll be announced. Hey, he just signed a new 4-year. He'll be set for life.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's kind of like George Kittle and Hawkinson.
Oh yeah, those guys are both set for life. I
Yep.
mean, Noah Fant's making a lot of money too. I mean, yeah, Tyler Linderbaum, didn't he get like a 20
huge contract,
huge bonus?
Oh,
Yeah, they're all set for
How
life.
about Tristan? How's he doing?
Tristan Wirfs is set for life, and they're going.
Yeah.
Linderbaum's going to negotiate, get another huge contract because he's playing well. Yeah, no, 8 to 10 years,
great.
a chance to make generational wealth.
It's great. It's amazing.
It is. It
for
is.
Sure. No, the game. I was at the game Saturday with you, Tommy.
Uh-huh.
The crowd was great. I mean,
Yes, it was.
those Iowa crowds for the women's games have just been phenomenal. It's just electric over there, and yeah, for people to show up in the numbers they did with the weather is pretty impressive stuff. But I think people want to share this last season because I think you're probably right, Pat. I think this will be Caitlin's last year.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that. I'd love to be wrong, but I just don't think I will be this time.
Yeah, I think because she's going to lose all of her solid, steady mates.
Well, that's it.
And her critics will hold a fifth year against her, even though the numbers they'll focus on that, even though the numbers will just be absurd. And plus, I just think she wants to try something else.
I think so
we'll
too.
See.
She certainly will have left her mark for sure.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Needless to say, we're all going to share in that. Share in this and enjoy it for a lifetime.
No asterisk with 4 years either, where there would be an asterisk with
That's
5
right.
years. And I think she's going to break Kelsey Plum's record. She's going to break all
If she stays healthy.
If she stays healthy, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it would be great to do a fifth year, but I think she wants to test her ability at the highest level.
I do too. And she can stick it in Kim Mulkey's, you know what.
Well, she may have another chance to do it.
Yeah. So have you cracked open one of your boxes of Crunch Time yet?
It's funny. I got 6 boxes, and I gave some away to some friends of mine. I just wanted to, that was kind of my deal there. And then I kept a couple for me. And no, I haven't yet. I was kind of save it as a collector's item for a while. Have you looked inside to see if you want a free basketball, Tom?
I haven't gotten any.
You haven't? Really?
I haven't seen them.
Captain, when does it start swelling up?
Well, it'll take a couple years,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
going to. Yeah, people that are going to hold this for 10 years are going to be sadly disappointed.
No, it's the Hy-Vee where we go, Pat. It was out of there by noon.
Oh, I know. I saw it left and right. Yeah, I was like, wow, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's the Caitlin cereal. Yep.
Yeah.
She's everywhere.
Yeah, she's everywhere.
She's
listen,
like Andrew
gentlemen,
Hawtrey.
I'm going to be caucusing tonight. I'm going to miss the Iowa wrestling meet. I won't be attending, but I'll watch it on TV. But I've got to go caucus for Nikki Haley. So
Well, you be careful.
Good for you.
Well,
You be careful, but if you do pass,
Yeah,
hey, it's worthwhile.
Hey, yeah, what the hell?
It was a joke.
Yeah, push Haley.
What do you think of that comment, John?
She's the only one that's normal.
John, what do you think of that comment from
Yeah.
Trump about if you die out there, hey, at least get your vote in?
Jesus. Hey, Steve, I'd pick you up. You could go. You could sit in on my caucus.
Yeah.
Since you don't.
I'll sit on my own caucus, thank you.
Oh, that's good.
Thanks a lot, John.
Be careful out there, John.
Yeah.
Well, there's an unwelcome visual.
Yeah, I was going to say. There went lunch.
And dinner.
Dinner and maybe breakfast tomorrow.
Ooh, I enjoyed my dinner last night. Made some spaghetti with Graziano sausage, and it was yummy.
Oh, yeah, I do. That's what I use to make my spicy rigatoni.
We
I
had
may do that
salmon
today.
last night. It was great.
You had what?
Salmon, and it was really good.
Oh, I like salmon as long as it's soaked in butter and spices.
Well, always.
I turn something really healthy into something not healthy at all. Just melt a ton of butter on it.
Yeah, why not
Hey,
put-
I'm eating seafood.
Why not
I'm
put
doing
frosting
curls.
on it, too?
Yeah, but no, with enough butter on it and good
No,
sweet, salmon is
It
bearable.
was real good. Real good. And then we had smoked salmon for breakfast.
I don't
That's
like
all
smoked.
we had was
Salmon?
You know what I used to love, and now you can't get it, is my mom and dad used to eat. We used to eat a lot of orange roughy. Whenever we had seafood, and I loved it. But now you can't. I guess it was overfished, or they fished
Did
it
they
so
have mercury or something?
Well, I don't know. Look up why orange roughy not.
Well, and they can live to be over 100 years old,
Yeah.
130
I
something.
think I've read that.
Remember,
but
we looked it up.
It was so prevalent. I remember that was always a lot of people's choice of seafood back 30, 40 years ago when I was a kid. We didn't eat a lot of seafood. I mean, fish sticks. That was our seafood.
Yeah,
but I
that's all
do
we ever
remember
had.
eating
Orange roughy, also known as red roughy, slime head.
Ugh.
And
That's banned, isn't it, out of Seattle?
slime head.
Doesn't that sound more like a band?
Slime head.
Slime head. Or a DJ, a
Yeah.
morning DJ.
But I thought it got overfished or something, and it just because we used to eat a ton of it as kids, and I remember I'd put Lowry's salt and butter on it, and it was decent, flaky.
Yeah, we were the United States has been the largest consumer of orange roughy. However, in recent years, the market for orange roughy in China has increased significantly. China is now sucking up most of the.
Well, I
orange
never
roughy.
see it anywhere. I don't recall Hy-Vee having it for years.
Because of its longevity, the orange roughy accumulates large amounts of mercury in its tissues. This is why.
Well, I know, but isn't it easy to avoid?
Real easy to avoid.
Regular consumption of orange roughy can have adverse effects on health. Compared to most edible fish, orange roughy is a very poor source of omega-3 fatty
And God, to
acids.
think back in the 70s, we were eating orange roughy thinking we were eating healthy. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of what you did.
Yeah.
You're always, other than now, fish sticks obviously are not with all the batter and stuff on them, but
They are very slow, orange roughy, to reproduce, so they're very vulnerable to overfishing.
Well, yeah, they're over 100 years old. Of course they're not reproducing.
Yeah.
you could run for president.
They live to be, hey, these guys are young.
Yeah.
To orange
Their future's
roughy.
ahead of them.
Yeah.
No, we did eat a lot of those kids. I just remember that. Anytime it was seafood, I don't remember ever having salmon.
Well, we would avoid it in this country because of the mercury, and
Yeah, but we didn't know that
and
back
China
in the
doesn't care.
They don't care, man. We didn't know about it in the 70s and
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
And what have you. But you're going to watch the game at 5?
Yes.
I will be watching it and writing a
bet.
report on it. Then they'll send video. I mean, I don't have a feeling either way. I guess I'm leaning a little bit. I think they're a better team than Minnesota, but it's there. This could go either way. I'm almost 50-50, my gut feeling. Minnesota is better.
Yes, Mazio serves lots of orange roughy.
Who?
Chat room, Mazio's. where
where Menu Boy.
Menu Boy.
Haven't.
Menu Boy. When I talk to him next, if the song of the week doesn't run on Friday with Tommy, it's not going to run. He's not going to constantly call here Saturday and Sunday and then tells Tommy yesterday, who's doing it from home, that he'll play it from his home, and Tommy should hold the phone up to the microphone.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. If he calls up after, I will drive there, seriously, and kill him.
How would you go about, what would be your mean?
I'd make him go in there and eat something off the plate.
I thought you were going to just stuff him full of Orange Roughy and let the mercury kill him.
This guy is calling up.
This is his playground.
Well, it isn't.
This radio station has turned into his playground.
Well, it isn't. I mean, how ridiculous. The
guy's got more power than Hunter and I.
I blame
Hunter doesn't have a.
I blame
song of the
two
week?
people on his staff that I will not name.
What'd you just say? Hunter vetoed his ass on Saturday.
Yes.
Hunter doesn't get a song of the week.
And Tommy's not going to hold his phone up so that he can play the. Honest
That's
to
like
God.
the Bundys. Remember Fox Viewing when they get to.
I love that.
Remember that?
I saw one yesterday. Danny Bonaducci. And both Danny Bonaducci and Gary Coleman.
Danny Bonaducci.
Danny Bonaducci and Gary Coleman were, I guess.
I remember seeing those. Yeah, I've watched most of those episodes.
And then they had Anthrax and Ed Kooky Burns on one.
Yeah, and Sam Kinison was on.
Yeah.
He was on.
It's a Bundyful life.
Yeah. But so what was the song of the week? Do you remember?
No, I don't know, and I don't care.
But it ran on Saturday instead of Friday.
No, it didn't run.
So what are have your listeners protested?
Yes. Oh, yeah, in droves.
Well, that's...
If it doesn't run on Friday with Tommy, it ain't running.
Taking a stand.
Yeah.
Suter, are you in agreement?
Yes, completely.
All right.
He's a nuisance.
He is radio gold sometimes.
Well...
And you know it's true.
Sometimes, but sometimes just a nuisance.
Well, but it's worth it for the.
I know somewhere if there's an afterlife, Gavin is looking down at us, shaking his head when he goes on the air.
But you're making thousands of dollars off both of them, aren't you?
Millions.
Well, he made it sound just like you're making like radio gold. That sounds like he's a Southern. Probably thinks he's carrying you guys.
I'm sure he does.
Especially after hearing that.
Hello.
Hey, if you don't play Justin's Song of the Week, then I'm never listening.
Good.
Okay.
That's the risk.
Yeah.
When you latch on to a supernova like this.
Yeah, a comet.
A champagne supernova.
When you land on a comet.
When you land like you took a chance. Now you're just going to have to navigate through these rocky waters.
Honest to God, this is what 60 years, and this is what I'm dealing with. It's Hunter and Tommy are calling me going, Jesus, guy won't leave us alone.
Well, Billy got to that point with Gavin, too.
Oh, yeah.
And it pissed him off.
Yeah, but Billy didn't have to consult with me.
Was he ever mean to Gavin on the air? Did they ever get into it?
Billy?
Yeah.
No.
That would have been radio.
That
would have been radio.
He was not mean on the air. Billy was great on the air.
Yeah, he was.
But wouldn't you have liked to have heard him and Gavin going at it?
It would not have been.
No, Billy would just hang up.
Oh, okay.
He'd hang up, and Gavin started, if they ever did, Gavin would let loose with every word we can't broadcast in a matter of seconds.
That wouldn't be good.
No, not at all.
All right, back to the Hawks. I wanted to. So, is there? I know you go on the. Is there any rumors on the message board
as far as offensive
just
coordinator?
Anything?
No, none.
And there's no discussion. I did have somebody tell me that somebody in the Iowa media, had recently posted something that saying that Paul Christ is no longer a candidate.
I
but
thought
like
that
said,
was a Wisconsin.
Well, that
source.
was after that one. Supposedly,
okay.
Like I said, that's what I wrote in my column, that Chris has gone from being a candidate to not being one, to being one, to not being one. I mean, it's just, there's been so much speculation about him and so little about Philbin. But I do think part of that, though, is just because of who Chris is and the fact that he's been around the college game a lot more. And Joe Philbin seems like a pretty private person. I mean, even when he was a head coach, he never seemed like one of these guys that basked in the spotlight.
But I agree with you when you said if it's either Christ or Philbin, why wouldn't they have been able to be hired?
That's the one reason, and there may be a simple answer to that.
Well, maybe it's that Kirk wanted to go to that athletic directors meeting or that coaches convention.
It could be something like that. It could be a procedure thing. And there may be a simple answer. They may have a done deal with one of those two guys, and it's just not ready to process through. I don't know. And nobody knows because, like I said, I haven't seen anybody. I mean, I've written 4 or 5 different things. Like the thing I wrote today was just don't assume just because it's taken longer than what some of you had hoped. That doesn't necessarily mean that's bad news.
No.
You can't draw a conclusion either way. I think you just got to wait and let this thing play. It could be announced today. Nothing would surprise me.
Well, no, and the other thing is a lot of NFL teams are just finishing up their seasons, getting knocked out of the playoffs.
And Kirk also, remember that comment he made back in December, he hinted this thing could go into February.
Yeah,
he said
did.
that. He did say that. So if that's the case, then we got a couple more weeks of this.
Well, maybe they're dealing with somebody's agent, too.
Well, there's that. There's also the process. There's a time frame. You got to interview a certain amount of people. There's got to be a minority. There's different stuff you have to adhere to in this process, and some of it takes time.
And I did see I did see one thing, speculation, and I don't know if you've heard the same thing or not. That Beth has said we're not, putting out $2 million for a offensive coordinator.
I've heard that. I haven't seen any. Like a reporter, that does not surprise me. I mean, because that means they'd have to pay Phil Parker probably 2.3, 2.4.
Uh-huh.
They don't want to spend that type of money. And to me, if they give Phil a raise to 1.5, 1.6 or something, and then get a new coordinator for 1.3, they'll be able to hire someone pretty decent. That's a decent wage.
Oh,
I mean, it's not LSU. It's not, but a 1.3 in Iowa City running that offense. To me, the money would not be an issue. The issue is going to be how much freedom Kirk gives you to not necessarily fix the offense, but just kind of update it a little bit, just kind of change. Like whenever we talk to Don Patterson about it, he never says, they need to overall. He just wants them to be more aggressive in their approach and their play calling. Use more of the field. That's what he was. That doesn't require an overhaul.
She sure is, though, different from what we're used to as far as athletic director.
Oh, I think Beth is great.
Yeah, I like I said, I think it's only a matter of time that they announced that it's hers permanently. And like I said, you can criticize the in-season hire, but they had their reasons, and she didn't do this on her own. I mean, she had to have permission from her higher-ups, which means
the president.
I always say Ann Wilson from Hart, but it's Barbara.
It's
Barbara Wilson. She was not in Hart, was she?
No.
She was like a drummer. Was she a drummer?
Yeah.
Before she became a university
backup
president?
singer.
She went from being a backup singer for Hart to into athletic administration directly.
Hello.
Hi. I just wondered, everybody all antsy about wanting to get a offensive coordinator really, really quick. When's the university going to go ahead and make their athletic director an official announcement?
Well, some people are saying as early as this week. Some people were saying it was going to be last week. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
But
what have you heard, Pat?
I've heard that both things could happen any day.
Yeah.
Coordinator and Beth being announced as the new. I haven't heard any rumors that somebody else besides Beth. Have you?
No,
I haven't heard any. But you never say never. But I just haven't heard any.
Well, everybody thinks that Kirk's foot dragging. And, who else has got the foot on the brake there, too? He may have authority to pick and choose, but does he really get to make the final decision? And if we don't have an athletic director, even enacting one now, how do they go ahead and make the decision?
I would be stunned if if Kirk says, hey, I'm going to hire my son James is retiring from the NFL. He's our new coordinator. Beth would take a stand.
Yes.
But I don't think Beth is influencing who Kirk
and
hires
she
her.
doesn't want to.
And she doesn't want to, nor should she. Nor should she. The Brian situation was unique. He had been given a chance. I would be stunned if Beth was going over, you can interview him. No, that's not happening. This is Kirk's decision.
Okay, I know he'll make a good one.
Sure hope so.
Well, yeah, you hope so. I mean,
sure hope so.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
can't say for certain.
No.
I mean, I don't know if it was.
Well, you don't know.
I mean, Brian ended up not being a good one.
Ended up not being.
Greg Davis was.
Although Brian looked good for a while.
Greg Davis was more missed than hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Ken O'Keefe, I think he sometimes gets a bad rap. They had some decent years under Ken. He stayed for a long, he was there for 12, 13, that's a long time. But they did start to kind of peter under him. But I think that was the offense itself more so than the person calling the plays. I think
and wasn't there like a personal thing that some people, I don't remember exactly, but
no, people were just bored with the offense. It was the offense was just but now you look back at those years with where it is now, golden years. But there was frustration with the offense.
Yes, there was
when O'Keefe left.
People were glad O'Keefe left.
Yeah.
They were glad when Davis left, and they're glad when Brian left.
Yes, and that's, to me, that's not a coincidence. That says something about the offense.
Sure it does.
As much as it does about those three coaches. So like I said, I've never been expecting a home run hire with this. I mean, to me, you could argue that someone like Philbin or Christ is kind of a home run hire, but fans aren't buying that because I don't think either one. Christ would be more so just because they're more familiar with him. Philbin would not light a fire under most fans.
No, I think that they think he's going to be more old school.
Well, he's going to be more of whatever
a
Kirk
crony
tells
hire.
Yeah, just somebody. Yes, whatever you say, Kirk. We're in this together. I believe in everything you do, and but who knows? Like I said, I mean, but it is weird though. Kirk has done a good job of keeping this under wraps.
He sure has.
Because there's a lot of people trying to get updates and content on this, and it's hard. I mean, it's really hard because there's just been nothing.
Think Mary would tell you, Steve?
Sure, I'll call her right now.
Have her see if she'll do it on the air.
I'll call her right now. I never, whenever I communicate, I never ask about anything.
Oh, no,
like that.
no.
And she wouldn't tell me, and
No.
I wouldn't. And I.
It is surprising though. That there's
Were
no.
you kidding, Tom?
I was.
There's no people just throwing rumors out there on the message board. That's not even happening.
Nope. Because there's no. I mean, there were people doing flight trackers for a couple of weeks ago.
That's Creep City. I mean,
the whole thing sometimes gets so ridiculous.
It's all it's like conspiracy theory, Well, the plane left at 10:11 from the Cedar Rapids.
I got a kick out of some of the tweets I saw when reports started surfacing that Ryan Grubb was going to join DeBoer. Some Iowa fans were like, "Oh man, I thought for some guy said, man, I thought we had a good chance."
Why?
I mean, Alabama offered him $3 million last year. He was making at least $2 million at Washington. He's going to make between $2 and $3 million down there. Iowa's not going to pay that.
No.
And someone like him with opportunities he has, he'd be taking a pretty big risk coming to Iowa right now, don't you think?
Well, I don't think he would do it.
I don't either.
At all.
And it would be pretty risky.
Oh, of course.
There's a lot to offer Iowa. I get it. It's a very strong Power 5 program, great fan base, great facilities, and a great conference. But right now the offense is a mess, and you're working for a head coach who's very set in his ways. Some will say stubborn, and there's a risk. It may not work. I mean, just because somebody like Ryan Grubb walks in, that doesn't change the personnel that's greeting him at the door.
No, it doesn't.
So, but yeah, this is, I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if both the AD and the coordinators thing break this week, nor would I be shocked if they lasted for another. Which one do you think happens first?
Beth.
I kind of think Beth, too. Because I've been told, I actually had someone saying they thought it was going to happen late last week. That they were just going to announce that it's not, Iowa probably won't make a huge, they'll just announce that she's been, they'll release something saying
think you're right.
that she's now the full-time, and they'll have a story, whatever. I'll just use their story. I will maybe write a column saying that I think this was the right move. And we may never know who else interviewed for the job. I haven't seen any names. Have you?
No,
and I don't think.
In the old days, we used to. I mean, I remember the old days, people interviewing for the jobs, sometimes they would call a newspaper asking for an interview. We knew who, lots of times you knew.
Yeah.
But like now,
anymore.
The coordinator job, nothing.
There's nothing.
There's
been no leaks, no anything.
That's pretty impressive for Kirk, don't you think, and the people around him?
And there's nobody, I know for a fact that Kirk interviewed such and such down in Huntsville or something.
No, there's been none of that.
There's none of that.
One of the rumors for a week was Scott Frost. Think about it. I'm trying to picture him and Kirk working together.
Stupid. That was just ridiculous.
But that just shows you where we are right now. But I give Kirk credit and the people that he's interviewing. I mean, someone like Joe Philbin, I think it would be very easy for Joe Philbin to keep this under wraps.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so detached from. I don't see Joe Philbin as being a big force on social media, from what I know about him. Nor
Paul Chris doesn't strike me as.
No, he doesn't look like, hey man, I need the attention. I better put some teasers out there. So, but no, I
take a picture of Paul Chris, picture of his meal. You know, say, boy, does this look good?
The one prediction I will make is I do think one of them will break this week.
Okay.
That's not really going out on a limb, but I mean, with the earlier they can get a coordinator in here and get going, the better. I mean,
I think so.
I don't know how much different a week makes over, what have you. So, but I mean, Kirk, he'll get it done in due time, and maybe we'll be surprised.
I mean, how much teaching are they even allowed to do this time of year?
Not a ton. And
I mean, do they even get position meetings?
It's more so for the future. Like when you're going, like now when they're talking to recruits, they don't have a coordinator right now. So it's hard to talk to offensive players right now. You get that coordinator in there, you can at least start answering more questions. You imagine them trying to recruit a wide receiver right now? Without
a receiver coach?
Or a coordinator? That'd be a little tough. It's already tough enough for them right now. Yeah. And obviously, Copeland, I guess the best way to do he wasn't retained. Didn't you think that's the best way?
Yes, I think so.
I mean, a nicer way of saying that he was basically let go or fired or whatever. I mean,
and he may have been looking before.
And I've heard he had been looking.
Yeah.
And my guess is he will land a job somewhere.
Probably.
I haven't seen anything yet.
No.
My guess is he'll land a job with another college. These coaches, they're survivors, man. And you get 7 years in, I don't care how bad it was at times. He could also point, he did coach Amir Smith-Marset. He had some success.
Yes, he did.
Brandon Smith, Nick Easley had success under him. There's some stuff that he can point to. Well, it's just these last 2 years have just ruined so much on offense.
Terrible.
They've just been terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Song of the week?
No. Song of the effing week.
I just think it's funny.
Honest to God,
what if he had Devo whip it? Would you allow that?
No.
Oh, he did have it, didn't he?
Oh, he did?
I don't know. I don't.
Yes, I think he did.
The first sign of a crumbling empire is when the emperor isn't aware of everything going on.
The emperor.
There's stuff going on here that you're not aware of.
I haven't pulled, a Beth yet.
I can't get a Led Zeppelin song on for the life of me, but Devo.
I was close to pulling a Beth when yesterday he wanted the phone held up to Tommy's microphone.
And Tommy was willing to play the game?
No, not at all. No, not at all.
And what was the song?
I don't care. I don't know.
But no, he's had Whip It before.
Well, Whip It, I think we got in here.
Okay,
Whip It into shape.
I'm going to ask you, Led Zeppelin or Devo?
Led Zeppelin.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I just wanted to make sure.
I never did get what's with the damn flower pots.
I never understood.
I don't
why
get
did
stupid.
They were from Ohio. That's all I know.
Yeah, I don't get the whole damn thing.
Just
never got it.
I didn't either. And didn't they wear like black turtlenecks?
Yeah, it was just.
I did not like that. I'll tell you what though, they made a lot of money. Whip It probably went to number one, didn't it? You think it went to number one?
Yes,
it was highly popular, and
I could be wrong.
Wasn't it huge on MTV too?
Yes. Well, it was an MTV song by all means.
Yes, kind of like Aha. What's
Take
that?
On Me.
Take on Me. That was another MTV.
I love that video.
The video, yeah.
I thought the video was.
Oh, I know.
Cool.
I mean, girls used to cry watching that thing.
Well, I never cried watching that.
Well, that was when I was in high school and college.
Well, you never saw that kind of an effect before.
Yeah, it was different. The graphic, it was different.
Yeah. Devo.
I'm pretty sure they were from Ohio.
Yes, they were week to week charting.
Did they have another? Was that? Didn't they have?
They had another release.
Didn't they have another song that charted?
Yeah, but I can't remember.
I can't remember it though.
You know, it didn't. It got up to 14.
Oh, that's all.
Wow, I would have thought for sure it was higher because it seemed like it was played all the time. I put that sort of My Sharona, Whip It. Now,
My Sharona was at least rock and roll.
And I love the guitar solo at the end. One of the best endings to a song.
I'm not saying I like the song because I didn't, but
What is the meaning behind Whip It by Devo?
Are you going to tell us?
The ability to solve one's problems.
Oh, you're whipping
Whip it into shape.
You're whipping it into shape, yeah.
Whip it real
It became
good.
an MTV staple and the group's only success.
That's kind of harsh.
Well, most bands don't have any success.
True.
David Bowie called Devo the band of the future. What the hell was he on? Wow.
Well, maybe the future just hasn't gotten here yet.
Yeah, well.
I mean, Devo came out in like late 70s, didn't
80.
he?
1980.
1980, I know that's when Whip It came out.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, they're from the 70s.
Yeah, they
The
were
band
peak MTV.
The band of the future.
Yeah, I thought they had one more release, though. But I can't remember.
Devo.
Maybe they did a cover of, Are You Lonesome Tonight?
Satisfaction?
They had Satisfaction. They had Puppet Boy.
I don't
They
recall
had
those.
Girl You Want and Jocko Homo.
No,
Okay.
I don't.
I don't
Those
recall
aren't
any of
ringing
those.
a bell.
Those are not ringing a bell. No.
I don't like
Anita Ward, ring my bell.
I need a new drug.
That's Huey Lewis, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Never, like I
Yeah.
said before, I've never been I know you guys say he's a great guy.
Love
He is a great
never
guy.
liked
He's
his
a
music.
great blues musician, but
But that working for a living and all that, it never worked for me.
a living.
Painful.
God, Jesus.
I liked Huey Lewis a lot. I don't know him, or I never met him.
You're with that hat on your head and that
It's a
coat and
KCJJ.
everything.
Yeah, say I never
know,
wear the colors.
But you remind me of South American dictator with the glasses.
Well, with my pale white skin.
Well, other than that, minor.
You look like a cartel boy.
Yeah, you do.
I look like a cartel boy.
Yeah,
Okay.
you could run a cartel.
They're going to pull me over off on Napoleon, and
You can run a cartel.
Have Brad Kunkel pull you over and say, "That's it." Harty."
I got nothing to hide. I actually returned bottles. I returned bottles prior to coming in here.
Yeah.
They had started to build up a little bit. I hadn't done it for like weeks, and but yeah, it's right down to the recycling.
Yeah, I did mine recycling last.
Remember the old days when you took them to Hy-Vee and you'd get a nickel for each one?
Uh-huh.
Didn't that end with COVID pretty much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
As it should. I mean, now if you take them down to the one on Scott, if you leave them by the side by the one bin, bottles and cans, they take those and use those for Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, because I was putting them into the containers, and the guy came over and said, "Hey, just take your bottles and put them right over here. Don't put, if it's glass, don't put them in. Just lay it on the side, and they'll pick them up in the end." They use the receipts.
Oh,
for,
neat. So they do that with wine bottles and beer
they
bottles?
do that with, I think, pretty much about anything
Wow.
that has a deposit to it. And do wine bottles have a deposit?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and it all goes towards Habitat for Humanity. So it's a good
That's
cause.
cool.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea to do that. You just don't if it's glass, you just leave it on the side there, and if it's cans, you put them in. You'll see the chute right there. But no, I've always, so you're drinking and helping at the same time. What do you think of that?
Drinking,
The American
and
dream.
helping, and drinking,
and helping.
Who sings that?
Dusty Springfield.
That's right.
Wishing and hoping.
Wishing and
Was she
hoping
also
and
who sings that one? The Sense something Bridge.
No, you're thinking of Jumped Off the Tallahatchie
Yeah, who
Bridge?
sings that one?
Bobby
Gentry.
That's
Bobby,
right.
yeah.
Okay. all right.
See, I think that song was terrific.
I didn't mind that
It,
song.
it
was-
evoked a mood,
Yeah.
and you just felt like you were freaking there. The groove was perfect.
I didn't mind that song.
I thought it was just an astounding song.
Yeah.
And I still do.
Do you ever play it here?
No.
That's my song of the week.
No. Yeah. Well, why don't you play it on your phone and hold the phone up to the microphone? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we don't need to do that.
No.
I wonder what that would have sounded like.
Crap. Absolute crap. Anyway.
Did you see the scene where they showed where Taylor Swift dancing with all the people in the suite? It was funny. I mean, like I said, I don't get the Taylor Swift hate either. I mean, well, the thing is, though, if she was MAGA, they'd
People
worship her.
They're jealous of her success.
And that she's asking people.
To
And
vote.
it really isn't a political thing.
No, she's not
They-
telling who
they've
to vote
got
for.
memes. Well, they've got memes saying she's to vote for Biden. She didn't say that.
She seems like a really nice person.
She just
Said
asked
vote.
people
To vote.
to vote,
To join the
to
process.
register.
Yeah. to join the political process. I don't have a problem with that. And like I said, I mean, I read something where it sounds like they're going to get engaged. Hey, hopefully they go on and live for happy.
Why not?
And if it doesn't work, then
I
whatever.
mean, then you still.
But I don't.
Then you're still a billionaire, and
and they are
still probably got a $75 million.
And they are starting to cut to her less during games now. I think a little bit of the novelty's rubbed off. But to see her dancing with the other fans in there, it's kind of neat. I don't have a problem with it.
No, not at all.
I'm not a fan of her music. I did hear the one thing. What's it called? Anti-Hero. That one kind of grew on me a little bit. But I'm not a huge fan of her music. I just don't get the hate and the animosity and the jealousy and the pettiness.
I don't get that off of anything. I don't. But that's where we're.
Well, there's a lot of hate for her and for Caitlin.
Well, there's a lot of hate for.
I mean, the bigger you get, the more resistance you face. For some reason, people just want to take you down, and I don't get it. I mean, Caitlin's not perfect on the court. She's the kind of player, if she's not on your team, you're not going to like her in some ways.
Because she's competitive.
And she does whine some. I get it.
Does.
She's got a very demonstrative personality. That's how she is. But that's also – but I don't think – rarely does she cross the line. And when she does, she's been given technicals.
But I will also tell you that she gets beat up every single game.
She does. But I think for the most part, she handles it well. And I just think right now she's a phenomenon that – some people are just jealous of, and
well, that's the whole thing. It's
just pettiness and jealousy.
It doesn't fit their narrative.
And what's amazing too is, I mean, look at the season Iowa State's having.
Yeah,
that's a huge win for Iowa.
Yeah, it is.
And that Audie Crooks, she's amazing.
No, she's.
I mean,
she would not have fit with this offense.
No, but would you take her over the two centers they have? I would in a heartbeat. It's no knock on the two centers.
Probably.
I mean, I think she would have figured out a way to make it work. She and Caitlin would have figured out.
Caitlin would beat her down the court.
She had
every
20.
time.
Yeah, but man, she's running a lot better. She doesn't run much slower than Addie O'Grady going down the court. I've watched her. She had 23 and 6 the other day.
She's really good.
She's the real deal.
Yes, she is.
And she looks like she's lost a little bit of weight since even she played against Iowa. But no, I think she is so good and Caitlin's so good. They would have figured out a way to make it work because Iowa recruited her. I remember seeing her. On her recruiting trip. I'm like, who is that? And they told me, well, she's a girl, and they said she's from like Algona, Garrigan. I knew nothing about her at the time, and I believe it was Jan Jensen that was showing her around. But it's just amazing. There's two, and Drake women are pretty good, but Iowa and Iowa State are both really good teams. I mean, sometimes he annoys me, Finley, but he's a hell of a coach.
Yeah, he is.
He's a hell of a coach.
He is. But I don't like him.
Let's wrap her.
We're done.
You want to wrap?
Go to the caucus tonight, even if it kills you.
And vote for Nikki Haley.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'll reach out to Adam today about trying to get him on either Wednesday or Friday. You realize the last week's just been kind of rough.
It's been throwaway.
Yeah. I think you weren't expecting me last Wednesday, were you? I kind of surprised you when I came out here.
Yes, you did. No, you did.
But no, I had shoveled, and like I said, the roads weren't that bad. But I wouldn't have come. There's no way I was coming out here Friday.
And I couldn't get out.
Yeah, my road had been plowed.
Yeah, there was no way anybody was coming out here Friday.
No.
Except for Jim.
Well, Jim was already here because he got here Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so and then Saturday, Hunter, I was preparing to come in on Saturday, but then Hunter's.
Well, you couldn't have got in.
That's what I'm glad he sent me a text message.
You couldn't have got
in.
You
can't get in.
It was, unbelievable.
Right now, yes, it's miserably cold, but at least the sun's out and we have no strong winds right now, do we? There's no.
Yeah, 34 miles an hour. Yes, we do.
34 miles an hour.
I haven't
just kicked up to 34.
I haven't seen that bush move in an hour.
It says
that
here
can't be right.
It has to be right.
Well, like I said, when I was out
spinning outside.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm just reading what it says. It's off.
I don't see.
The trees are not moving.
They're not moving at all.
Let me go to. Well, there's a lot of snow and ice on them. Let me look.
No, that's true too.
And when I was outside earlier turning bottles, there was no wind at all.
Let me look and see.
That was the only thing that made it bearable.
On my phone. Wind on my phone is averaging between 15 and 21.
Oh, that's different than 34.
Still,
but it doesn't even seem like 15. But no, it could be a lot. I mean, I'm trying to be positive here.
I have spent almost $400 for this machine, and it is accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna. God, I hope I can make it to the car with that wind. If I can't, would you guys send out a search party for me?
I'm going to stand by this.
The only thing I'm worried about is the pressure I have on my tires.
I have made some dumb investments before, and you're sitting in.
I mean, if we have 34 mile per hour wind, that lane's going to be filled up again.
Well, mostly now it's
Oh my
settled
God!
down.
Could you imagine us being stranded out here? There's no alcohol out here, is there?
No, but I have some Jolly Ranchers on my desk.
What are they laced with? Hopefully,
No, nothing.
smack. I could survive out here on heroin.
I thought we were wrapping this.
Heroin would be my co-pilot. All right, we're done.
Okay. All right, and then not even back to the Hawks. We're done. HawkFanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.
From the Harty and Stalker